Good morning, I'm Chitra, Assistant Professor working in Civil Department, Bharat Institute of Higher Education Research. I'm going to give a lecture video on the course name Structural Analysis 2 and the course code is U18 PCCE 601. So in this course name, I'm going to cover a topic arches. So first we are going to see what is arch. Arch is nothing but the curved structure that supports and weight of something above it. So otherwise it is constructed of wedge-shaped units that is jointed together with the mortar and spanning to an opening to support the wall above on it or with other superstructure and imposed loads. So the units supported each other. The load tends to make them incompact and enables to transmit the pressure downwards to the support. So in other words, it may be defined as a mechanical arrangement of wedge-shaped blocks of stones or bricks that is mutually supported to each other and supported at the end of the piers or abutments. So arches, it is early constructed in 2nd millennium BC in brick architect, and the systematic use started in the ancient Romans, who was first to apply the techniques in a wide range of structures. So arches, it is made up of stones and bricks that is mutually supported each other and it is supported by the piers and abutments. So arch is otherwise they called as that spans a space and support the structure and the weight above it. So this is a picture of the arch. So in this picture of the arch, we can see the keystone which is connected at the middle of the arch. So what is the function of the arch? The function of the arch is to carry the weight of the structure above the openings. So because of its shape, the blocks support each other by the mutual pressure on its own weight. Hence the structure remains in a position by the resistance from the support. So when we come to the elements of the arches, so there are so many element segments in the arches. First one is introduce. Introduce is nothing but the inner curve of the arch. Next is soffit. Soffit is nothing but inner surface of the arch. Sometimes introduce or soffits are used simultaneously. Next is extrados. Extrados is nothing but the outer cover of the arch. Next is crown. Crown is the highest part of the extrados. Next, a word element is key. So, key is nothing but the wedge-shaped unit fixed at the crown of the arch. Next is spandrel. Spandrel is a triangular space formed between the extrados and the horizontal line through the crown. Next, we are going to see what is the basic concept involved in the arch. So, in arch, it is mainly a pure compression form. It can be a span of large areas by resolving the forces into the compressive stresses. So here we are eliminating the tensile stress. So sometimes it may be refers to arch action. So as a force in the arch are carried to the ground, the arch will be pushed outwards at the base. That one we call as thrust. So as the rise or height of the arch decreases, the outward thrust also increases. So in order to maintain the arch action, we have to prevent the arch from collapsing. Then thrust need to be restrained either with the internal ties or external bracing. So such as abutments. Next, this is a basic concept of arches. So this is a picture. So in this picture, we are having 8 segments. So first one is keystone. So keystone is shown in your picture. So it is connected in the middle of the arch. So next is osier. So that is the second one. So you can see in this picture, this is the osier part. Otherwise they called as haunch portion. Next is extrados. Already I told the definition. Extrados is nothing but the outer part of the arch. Next is impost. Impost is the outer part of the extrados, that is it extends to the longitudinal direction. So that is the impost. Next is introduce. Introduce is nothing but the inner curves, inner surface of the arch. Next is the rise. Rise is the height of the arch span. Rise of the height of the arch. That one we called as rise. Next is a clear span. Clear span is the distance between the center of the arch distance. That is the spanning distance between the columns. Next is abutment. So we can see the last one, that is the abutments. It is constructed outwards of the arch. Next, this is also one picture of the arch shape. So we can see the arch. So crown is at the center of the arch. Next, haunch portion. So here we can see the keystone that is provided in between the arch, then extradus and intradus, that is lower part and upper part. So this is a picture of the arch. Next, we are going to see type of arch. So in type of arch, it is mainly based on the geometry and materials. So if we come to the geometry, so depends upon the different types of geometry, it is classified into flat arch, semicircular arch, segmental arch, relieving arch, Dutch of French arch, elliptical arch, parabolic arch, four-centered arch, five-centered arch, seven-centered arch, trefoil arch, Moorish arch, ogee arch, multi-foil arch and Tudor arch. So these are the different types of arches based on its geometry. Next, when we come to the materials of construction, so we are having stone arch. In stone arch, we are having different classification, that is rubble arch, then ashlar arch. Next, we are come to the brick arch. Brick is rough arch, axed brick, then gauged brick, arch of brick bonds. So next third one is concrete arch. In concrete arch, we are having concrete block arch, monolithic concrete arch, next RCC arch, and the fourth one is wooden and fifth one is metal arch. So these are the materials based on arches. So based on the requirements, they will be constructing different types of arches. So next, when we come to the elements of these segments, so first one is abutments. So abutment is nothing but it is the end support of the arch. Already I have showed in the pictures abutment. This is nothing but the end support of the arch. Next is pier. Pier is nothing but this is the intermediate support of an archicad. Next is arcade. So it is a rows of arches in continuation. Next is squeak back. So this is nothing but the inclined surface of the abutment which is so prepared to relieve an arch. Next is springing line. It is the imaginary line with joining the springs points of their either end. Next is sprinkler. It is the first hosier at the sprinkler level. It is immediately adjacent to the squeak back. Next is haunch. Haunch is nothing but the lower half of the arch between the prawn and the skew back. Next, we are coming to the picture of these segments. So already I told the definition. What is extradus, spandrel, rise, key, intradus, springer, springing line. So we can see the different, what are the elements in the arches, then span, then pier, then abutment, then skew back, haunch. So these are the elements of segment of arches. So when we come to the stability of an arch, so definitely stability should be there in arches. So when an arch transmits the superimposed load to the side wall, though friction between the surface of hosier and the portion of the mortar is created. So every element of arch remains in compression. So there may be failures due to this compression. So the failure may be based on the following types. So one is crushing of masonry, next slide your hosiers, next rotation of joints about the edges, then uneven settlement of the abutments and piers. So these are the failures maybe in the arches. Next, we are coming to the classification of arches. So according to the shape, so arches may be classified into flat arch, segmental arch, semicircular arch, horseshoe arch, point arch, that is Gothic arch. Next is Ventian arch. Next, classification based on the number of centers. So it may be one-centered arch, two-centered arch, three-centered arch, four-centered arch, five-centered arch. Next is classification based on the material of construction of workmanship. So it may be divided into stone arches and brick arches. So in stone arches we are having rubble arch and ashlar arch. In brick arches we are having rough arch, axle, gauge axe, purpose of brick made arch, in concrete arches. Next, based on the types of arches, we are having different types. One is flat arch, segmental arch, semicircular arch, horseshoe arch, then pointed arch. So when we come to the first type, that is segmental arch. This type of arches is in a circular form, circular one. So with a radius of less than 180 degree. So this is a segmental arch. So it is in a semicircle shape. Next one is a semicircular arch. So we can see the shape of the semicircular arch. So it is constructed in Roman architect and it is a half circle. So the major features of the semicircular arches, it is constructed in a Roman architect. It is a very strong arc constructed. It is mostly constructed in the bridges. Next is horseshoe arches. So this horseshoe arches is otherwise they called as Moorish arch. So it is here they are provided a keyhole at the center of the arch. So it is a rounded and pointed lob together like a horseshoe. So this one they called as horseshoe arch. So next one is a pointed arch. So we can, in this picture itself, we can see it is pointed. So this pointed arch is a crown is at the center. So it is in a two curing sides meet at the particular point. So that one we called as pointed arch. Next is brick arch. So the brick arch is a bricks are directly placed on the top of the arch. We can see this brick arches. So it is mostly constructed in churches, buildings. Next we are going to see what are the uses of arches. So when we come to the uses of arches, so the pointed arches were very most oftenly used by the builders of Gothic style architect. The advantage of using pointed arches rather than the circular arch, so here it produces a very less thrust at the base. So this inversions allowed for the taller and more closely spaced openings. Typical of Gothic arches called Cathedral of Saint Michael and Saint Udala in Brussels, Belgium, with a central pointed arch windows typically of Gothic architects. So this parallel arch employs that the principle that when weight is uniformly applied to the arc, the internal compression resulting from that weight will follow the parabolic profile. So, of course, all arc type, the parabolic arch produce most thrust at the base, but the spans of large areas. So, it may be commonly used in bridge design, where long spans are needed. Next, we are going to see analysis of arch. So there are many types of analysis of arches are there. So based on its practice. So that is 3-hinged arch, 2-hinged arch and fixed arches. So when we come to these three different types of analysis of arches. So here, so all the three types of arches are shown. That is statically determinate of arch. So first one is a 2-hinged arch, and second one is a fixed arch, and third one is a 3-hinged arch. So first we are going to see 2-hinged arch. 2-hinged arch is nothing but it is supported at the two sides. So here supports is given at the two supports. So that one we called as 2-hinged arch. So we can see in this picture. And then fixed arch. So here in fixed arches, so we can see the supports, fixed support at the ends of the arches. Next, third one is a 3-hinged arch. So we are having two supports at the bottom and one hinge. And the third hinge is placed at the center of the arch, that is crown place of the arch. So in this different types of arches, we are going to see whether this type of structure of arches is statically determinate or indeterminate structures. So when we take 2-hinge arches, in 2-hinge arches, see the supports, it is given as a pinned support. So in case of pinned support, so total number of reactions for the pinned supporters, here they have created as one horizontal and vertical. So total number of reactions, that is R, we are going to find. So total number of reaction for this 2-hinged arches, here right hand side 2, that is for pinned support, and left hand side again pinned support they have given. So for these two supports, total number of reaction is 2 plus 2 is 4. Next, condition of equilibrium available is S, that is 3. That is horizontal force, vertical force and a reaction, that is 3. So here statically determinate structure is total reaction, that is R, minus condition of equilibrium equation available. So that is 4 minus 3 is 1. So this type of structure we called as statically indeterminate structures. So next one is fixed arch. So in a case of fixed arch, total number of reaction available is 3. That is horizontal, vertical and one moment is there. So total number of reaction is 3. So 2 fixed arches are there. So 3 plus 3 is 6. So total number of reaction is 6. Next, condition of equilibrium equation available is 3. So when we find statically determinate structures, so that is 6 minus 3 is 3. So this is also statically determinate structures. So when we come to the third one, that is 3 hinged arch. So look at the picture here. 2 pinned support is given and 1 hinge is given at the center, at the top crown of the arch. So here when we come to the reactions, so for pinned support, 2 reactions. So 2 plus 2. So this side 2. So right hand side 2. So 2 plus 2, 4 reactions are created. Then total number of condition of equation available is 3. So when we come to statically determinate structures, so number of reactions. So how many number of reactions? That is 2 plus 2, 4. Plus one more hinged arch, one more hinge point is given in the structure. That is we have to consider 1. So 4 plus 4 minus 3 minus 1. One more hinge is given in your support, in your structure. So 4 minus 3 minus 1 is equal to 0. So this is called as statically determinate structures. So these are the different types of arches. Next we are going to see hingeless bridge and 2 hinge bridge, then 3 hinge bridge, tied arches. So first we will see what is hingeless bridge. So hingeless bridge is nothing but it allows no rotation. There will be no rotation in bridges at the foundation. So look at the picture here. So here this is hingeless bridges allows no rotation in the foundation, only built at a very sturdy locations because of the force placed on the foundation. So whatever force coming, it is placed on the foundation. So there is no hinge created in the arches. So very less hinges are created. So next coming to the 2 hinge arches. In this 2 hinge arches, you can see force generated at the hinges, bearings. So we can see the bearings are there. So in this bearings, here force generated are the hinge bearings most commonly used in type. So it is mostly economical. 2 hinge bridge. Next when we come to the 3 hinges. So here we can see 3 hinge arches. It contains an extra hinge which is provided at the top of the arch. So here suffers very little movement. There is a very little movement in this type of arches. So in this foundation, due to the earthquake, sinking, etc., it will be very useful and it is rarely used in recent times. Next, when we come to the tied arch. So look at the picture of the tied arch. That is the fourth picture. So this type of tied arch is used in the places where the ground is not strong enough to support the horizontal force. So to elevate the horizontal pressure, that the girders ties are both ends of the arches are together. So this is the different types of hinges created in the arches. Next, when we come to the analysis of 3 hinged arches. So in 3 hinged arches, we are having that is 2 supports and 1 support at the crown. So in 3 hinged arches, 2 at the support and 1 at the crown. So considered a concentrated, here they are considering a concentrated load force. So this is one example for an analysis of 3 hinged arch. Next, when we come to the problems based on the 3 hinges. So first is a problem. So here problem is a 3 hinged arch, semicircular arch carries a point load of 100 kilonewton at the crown. So the radius of the arch is 4 meters. Find the horizontal reaction at the support. So we can see the picture here in this question. One semicircular arch is given. So in the semicircular arch, one point load is acting at the crown part. So A, B, C. So C point one load is acting, that is 100 kilonewton. Then we have to calculate the horizontal reaction at the support. So we have to mark A, B. So in A point one horizontal reaction, that is VA, and B point one vertical reaction, that is VB. So one horizontal force is acting at A and as well as B point on horizontal force. So now we have to calculate reactions. So BA is equal to VB is equal to 50. So how we got this BA and VB means, first we have to equate the moments about 0. So if we are equating moment about 0 means we have to come from VA. So VA into what is the total distance, that is H. So VA into H minus one horizontal force is acting. So that horizontal reaction into what is the vertical distance, that is 4 meters. So H into 4 is equal to 0. So we are equating moments about C point only. So up to C point only we have to consider. So equating moment about C point is equal to 0 means that is VA into 4 minus h into 4. So using this above equation, we will be getting VA is h is equal to VA. So horizontal force H is equal to 50 kilonewton. So this is a horizontal reaction, how to calculate horizontal reaction at the support. So when we come to the solution, let us take the x section of the arch. Let be the inclination of the tangent at x. If h is the horizontal thrust and v is the vertical shear at x, from the free end body, from RHS of the arch, it is clear V and H will have normal and radial components given by, what is the normal and radial components given in equation? So N is equal to H cos theta plus V sin theta into R. So otherwise reactions, that is radial components, R is equal to V cos theta minus H sin. So this is a normal thrust and radial shear in an arch rib. Next we are coming to one more problem, that is 3-hinged arch, semicircular arch of radius 10 meters. So it carries a UDL load of 2 kilonewton over the span. Determine the horizontal and vertical reaction of the support. So next we have to determine H, that is horizontal force, and VA and VB in semicircular arch as shown in this figure. So for this, calculating horizontal forces and vertical reactions, first we have to equate the moments about A to 0. So if you are equating moments about A to 0 means we have to come from B. So that is VA into, what is the total distance, that is here is 10 meters plus this, for this span is 2 meters. So for this VA into 12, then what is the UDL load acting, that is minus, that is 2. So 2 into 12 divided by 2 equal to 0. So using this above equation, you will be getting VB is equal to, that is vertical reaction at B is 9 and vertical reaction at A is 3. So equating 3 moments to left of the C is 0. Next we have to calculate horizontal force. So horizontal force is equal to VA is equal to 3, then H is equal to 3 kilonewton we got. So next when we come to the distinguish between 2-hinged arch and 3-hinged arch. So when we come to the 2-hinged arches and 3-hinged arches, 2-hinged arches is nothing but statically indeterminate to free first degree. Next, might develop a temperature stress. Next point is structurally more efficient. Next will develop a stress due to sinking of supports. So next is 3-inch arches. 3-inch arches is nothing but statically determinate increase in temperature, cause increase in central rise. So no stress, easy to analyze, but in construction, the central hinge may be involved additional expenditure. So one more problem we are going to see, that is 3-hinge arch of span 40 meters and a raise of 8 meters carries a concentrated load of 200 kilonewton and 150 kilonewton at a distance of 8 meters and 16 meters from the left hand end, and a UDL load of 50 kilonewton per meter on the right side half of the span. Find the horizontal thrust. So in this problem we are going to see what is the horizontal thrust. So for this solution is, first we have to find the vertical reaction VA and VB. So for that, taking about moment about A. So moment about A means we have to come from VA reaction. So that is VA into, what is the load acting from this side. So 200. So 200 into 8 meters plus then 150 load, that is 150 into 16 plus one UDL load is acting on the right side. So that is 50 into, for UDL, load into distance by 2. So load is 50. So 50 into 20 plus 20 by 2. So we can see in this equation, that is 20 by 2 plus previous distance. So what is the previous distance for this UDL load? That is 20. So half of this 40. So we have to take, that is 200 into 8 plus 150 point load, that is, these are 2 point loads. So 200 into 8 plus 150 into 16 plus right side 50 UDL load 50 into 20 into 20 divided by 2 plus the previous half of the distance from C to A. So 20 plus 20 divided by 2 minus VB reaction is acting. So VB reaction, one more reaction at V point, that is VB into what is the total distance for the arch, that is 40 meters. So equal to 0. So using this, taking about moment about A, so using this equation we will be getting after solving, so VB is equal to 850 kilonewton. So first we got VB, next we have to calculate VA reaction. So for this VA reaction, total load given in your problem is 200 plus 50. So here total load is 200 plus 50 plus 50 into 20, UDL loads 20 into 20 divided by 2. So that is total load plus that UDL load minus VB reaction, that is 850. So we are getting reaction at A is 500 kilonewton. Next is horizontal thrust. We have to calculate horizontal thrust. For calculating horizontal thrust, we have to take moments about C. So for taking moment about C means we have to come from VA reaction. So that is from VA reaction, one horizontal thrust H is acting on the A point. So what is the here horizontal thrust H is acting. So that is minus H into, that is in anti-clockwise direction. So minus H into, what is the rise given in your problem, that is 8 meters rise. So minus H into 8 plus VA into what is the total distance up to C point, 20. So VA into 20 minus 200, what is the load acting? So 200 into total distance from A to C is 20. So 20 minus that load acting distance, that is 8 meters. So 20 minus 8, then one more load is acting. So minus 150 into, so minus 150 into, what is the total distance? 20 from A to C. 20 minus, what is the distance of point load 150? 16 meters. So 20 minus 16. So equal to, we are getting 0 minus 8H. So equal to 0. Next is minus 8H plus, here VA already we got 500. So 500 into 20 minus 200 into 12. So 20 minus 8, 12 minus 150 into 20 minus 16 is 4. So equal to 0. So horizontal thrust we got is 875. So this is a solution for finding the vertical reaction VB and VA and horizontal thrust. Next, one more problem, that is a 3-hinge of circular arch of span 16 meters and a rise of 4 meters when it is subject to 2-point load, that is 100 kilonewton and 80 kilonewton at left end and right quarter span points respectively. Find the reaction of the support. Find also the bending moment, radial shear and normal thrust at 6 meters from the left supporter. So for this type of problem, here the picture is given, that is A, B and C. Here rise, they have taken as Y, and 2-point load is given in your problem, that is 100 and 80. 100 is acting at a 4 meter distance and 80 is acting from 4 meter from B point, and YC, that is rise YC, it is at the midpoint, they are given as 4 meters and the total span is 16 meters. So for this type of problem, we are going to find the bending moment, radial shear and normal thrust. So for this solution is, first we have to find the reaction at A. For finding reaction at A, the vertical components of reaction A and B, taking moments about A. So we are taking moments about A means that is VA into, what is the total distance? What is the load acting in the picture? That is 100. So 100 into 4 plus, what is the load, one more load acting, 80. So 80 into, what is the total distance? That is 12. Then minus VB is acting. So here VB into, what is the total distance of the span? 16 meters equal to 0. So using the above equation, we are getting VB is equal to 85 kilonewton. So next we have to find VA. So VA is equal to, that is total load. What is the total load? That is, total load is in the span is 80 plus 100. So total load is 80 plus 100 minus VB. What is the VB? Reaction B we got 85. So total load minus VB reaction we got VA is equal to 95. So this is a reaction calculation. Next we have to find the horizontal components of the reaction A and B. So taking moments about the at the C point. So taking moments about C point means VA into, what is the rise given? So VA into 8 minus H, horizontal thrust into YC, that is the YC distance from height of the arch. So rise of the arch, that is YC minus 100 load is 100 into what is the distance acting, 100 into 4 meters from A point. So 100 into 4 equal to 0. Next is we have to we already got VA is equal to 95, so substitute 95 into 8 minus H horizontal H into YC minus 100 into 4, so equal to 0. So using the above equation we are getting horizontal thrust H is equal to 90. So next we have to calculate resultant reaction at A and B. For calculating resultant reaction A and B, RA is equal to VA square plus H square. So what is the reaction at A point? Is equation is VA square plus H square. What is VA reaction we got is 95. So 95 square plus H is 90. So 90 square. So we are getting reaction at A is 130.86 kilonewton, and similarly for VB reaction is VA B square plus H square. So what is B? We got VB reaction is 85. So 85 square plus 90 square, we are getting 123.79 kilonewton. Next, we have to find bending moment at 6 meters from the left hand side. So bending moment for left hand side means we have to form like a curved surface, that is we have to form a right angle triangle in this figure. So using the question in a figure, triangle OEF is a right angle triangle, so we have to find the radius R. For finding the radius of R, so that is L by 2, so total distance divided by 2 into L by 2 is equal to YC into 2R minus YC. So already we know what is YC is 4, then total distance for the length is 16 meters, therefore R we got is 10 meters. So to find Y at X meters, that is 2 meters from the center. So in a right angle triangle, 2 meters from the center is right angle triangle, we know R square minus R square is equal to R minus 4 plus Y the whole square plus 2 square. So using this equation we got Y square plus 2Y minus 60 is equal to 0. So after solving this equation we got the values. Next is radial force F. For finding the radial force, this is the equation. So R is equal to V cos theta minus H sin theta. So using the above equation, we will be getting R is equal to this one and V is equal to net force acting at X meters. So in the question, X meter distance they have given. So at X meters, we know VA minus total load is 100. So what is VA reaction? 95 minus 100 is equal to, we got is minus 5 kilonewton. Then horizontal thrust we got is H is 90 kilonewton. So we have to substitute R is equal to V into cos theta minus 90 into sin theta is equal to, this is the radial shear force F. Next, we have to find the bending moment. So for calculating bending moment, we have to come from A point. So that is VA into 6 meter minus H horizontal thrust at A point into Y minus 100 into 2. So after substituting the VA reaction and HA, so we will be getting what is the bending moment is 28 kilonewton meter. Next, and the last step we have to calculate is normal thrust at X is equal to 6 meters from A point. So for this normal thrust formula is N is equal to V sin theta plus H cos theta. So here V is 5 we got into sin theta plus 90 H we got is 90 into cos theta is equal to minus 87.17 kilonewton. Thank you.